have these seahorses in a 10-gallon quarantine tank. Right now I haven't cleaned it yet because I wanted to show y'all how all that food needs to eventually get out of the bottom of the tank. This one right here is the one that has been really picky for me. I've had these guys, I think I just told y'all, like a week. They are captive bred, they're not wild caught. Wild caught are a pain to deal with as far as food goes, because you have to go buy live food at the store weekly or every other day, whatever, however you can find it. But I've tried both, and I found captive bred way easier. So back to these little guys. I have them in a 10-gallon quarantine just because they're so small. I feel comfortable having them in there. If they were any bigger, I'd probably have them in a 20 or 30 gallon. I just have it really simple. See, just little hitches where they can hang on. I have a hang on the back filter back there so that, you know, they can have their air and filtration going on. And then back here, I'm sorry y'all can't see because of all this daylight. Back here I have the lid of the top of this 10-gallon, and I blocked the heater with it back there in the corner. See, that way the seahorses can't get to it because I don't have a heater cover. And I tried to make that as snug as I could back there in the corner so that the seahorses won't latch onto that, because they can get heater burn, and then that can lead to infection, bacteria, etc. And they're just really hard to treat, and most of them do die from that. So it's really important when you put them in like your main tank, especially, to not have your heaters in there without a cover. If you have a sump, that's even better. So right now these two are doing really good. They've been eating kind of when they want to. They're still not like all the time eating immediately, but unless I put the mices in there, live mices, they immediately go for it. But these are already weaned onto frozen food, so that's not the issue. Just the stress of shipping and a new home and everything. Some take longer than others to like get adjusted to their new home. So like I said, this one's the one that's been picky. That's why I've left them in here so far for a week. This one's the main reason I also bought the mices, because he's not eating. He's being super lazy, and he almost won't even move to find his food or anything. While these two, they go after it when they want to. Sometimes I feed. I'll feed in the morning and then at night, but I feed bigger portions because I'm not here during the day. So I'll feed right before I go to work, and then I feed again when I come home. But usually at this age, you know, 3 to 4 times, if you can do it, is better for them. And then, so these are, like I said again, on frozen, but they also like to have their share of live. Coke pods are great for them as well, especially at this age when they're so tiny they can get the little stuff. I find these two, I would say they've already settled in because they eat pretty much when they want to. When I feed them in the morning, they go after their food really well. This one still has me not concerned because he has eaten, but not as well as the others. He's just lazy. He's like the laziest seahorse I've ever had. He'll just sit there. He won't hardly move from post to post or anything. He just stays there most of the day or goes to the sun coral where he likes. And he just looks around. Sometimes I think he's playing dead because he lays on his side. If he scares me, sometimes I'll just pick him up and make him swim, and he's okay. But he is just a whole mess. Just because He's so lazy. But in general, you know, they're ready to go to their main display tank whenever they're all eating. You don't see any signs of stress, fast breathing, you know, no signs of new stuff coming out on their skins or something like that. Just whenever they're looking healthy like these guys, you can go ahead and transfer them. There's nothing really keeping me right now from it except for this little guy, like I said. It's not that he's not eating, it's that he's not eating as much as the other two. So I just rather him get used to eating my food instead of whatever he was having before. He had, from what I understand, he was having Hikari, and I couldn't get a hold of the Hikari at the moment, so I'm using, I think it's San Francisco brine shrimp. I mean, not brine shrimp, but mysis. So he hasn't adjusted to the change. You know, the San Francisco ones are not as clear, and they have the black tips left on them, so they're not used to that one. So they don't go after it as well. So, but currently I'm working on my display. My display is cycled and already pretty much ready to go. It's just I'm missing sand, and it'll get here in a few days, and I'm going to put it in, and since the tank is already cycled, I run the risk of the tank having a mini cycle again. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't, or if it does happen, then at least it finishes before I transfer these guys over there. And I'll show you my display here in a minute. So that's it, guys. Like, there's nothing major to them. These, even if they were feeding immediately, it's good to leave them in here at least a week or two just to make sure, like, be super sure before you put them in your tank, because sometimes, you know, they can look healthy in a bag, but when you put them in the tank, that's a different story. So better to have them in a tank where you can launch them and have them acclimated and make sure that they're eating, that they're not going to develop any signs of sicknesses, no lesions or burns or anything. And see all this food I've got left in there? That's just, I siphon that out every day. That way, like I said, since this tank doesn't have all the filtration like a sump, a pump, you know, the skimmer and all that, that'll eventually build up nitrates in your system. So I do siphon all that out every day. And for right now, I'm doing water changes about every 2 or 3 days just to make sure that they're okay. But in the main system, yeah, you can. That's up to you if you do it once a week or every 2 weeks or however y'all do your normal routine changes. I usually do them every 2 weeks, just because seahorses are very dirty, so nitrates tend to spike fast and easy. And here I go. I'm going to show you where I'm going to have them. They are going in an 80-gallon cylinder, so they might look very, very small in that tank for right now, but they'll grow. So they love, like I said, they love Coke pods, they like amphipods, they like frozen food. It's better to leave them on frozen as much as possible so that they don't get used to live food, and then you're back at square one, like if they were babies, and then you can't it's hard to wean them back off sometimes to frozen food once they get used to live. And live is not always the best in stores as we think, because a lot of what we can get live is not nutritional. It's like with the frozen food, it loses some nutritional value. Try to keep it as fresh as possible. Live food in the ocean is very different from live food at the fish store, where you can only get like ghost shrimp or something that's not really of any nutritional value. So it's just best to keep them on their frozen. Okay, so let me go show you their display. And this is their display. It's an 80-gallon cylinder. And I've got a big old UV in there, and skimmer and all that, so that they won't. It increases the chances of the water being healthier for them and stuff. Alrighty.